Remove the the shade. I have one of those covers so that you don't just find me here standing here for nothing, for in nothing is what I meant to say. Good morning. It's Ariel Anderson, and I see somebody's there. It's exciting. So I am not fully awake in this time. It's a cloudy day. I kept waking up dealing with some crazy stuff. One phone crashes down and causes a ripple effect. And it just is a reminder of exactly our topic today, which is about simplifying. Now, what does that have to do with the fertility path? Well, there's a lot in there. And I want to jump into that in just a moment. So, if you're new here, welcome. It's great to have you. This is a circle where I welcome you to, ask anything, no matter what the topic is. And I am always diving into, what your path is as a woman, as a person on this planet, along with, what is going to bring you to joy and health and what you're creating in your fertility path for the first time or again. And if so subscribe, jump in. We're here every Friday, usually at 10 a.m. Today it is 9 a.m. because it's the first Friday of the month. And if you're returning, then it's great to have you because, we talk about real stuff. And yeah, today it's getting pretty real. It's been a very raw time. It's so funny when something simple happens. And I know you know this from your fertility path that you don't think is going to cause the ripple effect in your life and inside of you. And it does. You think, oh, another loss. I can handle that. Right. And I know that you know this well because things aren't working, if things were working out, you probably wouldn't be here. And if you're looking for ideas or there are have been the loss of information, the loss of a baby, we just had October, which was pregnancy loss month, and I didn't do anything, and that's noticeable. And I'll talk more about that later. I think there was enough loss going on in the moment with looking at the past, looking at, uh, it's funny. One thing happens and it ripples out because you realize that it has a lot of meaning. Sometimes we give too much meaning when something happens or doesn't happen, like loss. And I'm reminded of my path with you when I had my 5 losses on the way to my daughter now my 6th and successful pregnancy. A big piece was hanging on to how I thought it should be, or hanging on to a past idea of things. And I will tell you, when we talk about the simplifying thing, there's so much information. There's so many ideas outside of you that are coming in that I bet you have at least a handful, if not more, of things that maybe don't fully align with who you are, and yet you feel you should do them. We've talked a little bit about shoulds and how I believe that trying and shoulding are some not so nice and pretty nasty words because they cause a lot of stress. So, in this ridiculous reality of phone versus baby, it's not the same at all, but it's that reminder because there's deep loss in, several years worth of information. I no longer can access my website, social media, some very core important emails where I access my own coaching. And I literally won't be able to get in. So, and it's that reminder of things that you can't control. And those ideas of how easy, like things were just getting to the point where I thought, oh, look, things are flowing and easy. I know you've had those moments, right? I mean, tell me down in the chat if you've had those moments where you thought, now I've got it. I'm eating healthy, or I'm doing something, I'm doing the yoga, whatever it might be, doing your walks. And now it's going to be easier, right? Do you know what I mean? I'm so curious if in the chat it's kind of give me a thumbs up or a one if you're like, yes, I know what you mean, where you have that feeling and then the rug gets pulled out from underneath you and you think, what the absolute FUCK. And that's how I felt during my pregnancy path. I did have moments where I was like, I'm doing everything right. What is the problem? Am I the problem? Am I doing something wrong? Is there something else I should add to the list of things that I'm doing? The supplements, the moving my body. I know you know this. Let's see, moving your body, uh, maybe you're going to acupuncture, maybe you're taking herbs, maybe you're going to the best doctors, you're going to fertility, you're not eating certain foods, you are eating certain other foods that you don't even like, but you're eating them because they're supposed to be good. You're not drinking because you shouldn't do that in case you get pregnant and even as I'm saying all this, I feel stressed. I can only imagine how you're feeling. So today I talk about really simplifying and I actually got even clearer that this was the topic today when I was reading a book, a children's book about Neverland for girls or something like that. And and they were talking about the fairies' talents. It was, there was the mouse petting fairy. I don't remember. The setter of the table fairy. Like, it sounds very specific, and in fact, one of the human girls said, "Well, those are talents? Those are things? That's something that is," yeah, she was really surprised. A couple of them were really surprised, and I remember thinking that, like, we often think that we have to take on so much, to do the thing. And sometimes there's just one thing that really lights you up that you're really good at, that you're meant to do. I've talked about that quite a long time ago about your creating and your um, doing the things that are yours. And that's, I believe that when you're doing those things and you're living your best life, that's much easier to get pregnant. Have you ever had one of those hits, one of those moments? If you're here now or on the replay, I'd be curious. What are those things that light you up? Really light you up? Now, I wonder if there's a way to merge that with some of the information that you've gotten around what you're supposed to be doing to be fertile, to be healthy, to get pregnant midlife or at an older age, wherever you are. So that's what's on my mind today. Because I think we take on other people's information, including my own here. If you get my mails, sometimes I'm putting things out there, and I'm putting things out there not because I'm trying to say this is the way, this is the only way, this is the way you must do it. I say these things, I talk here because I want you to have more to work with. Maybe one of them is going to land and be your thing and be like, that's it. So today, I encourage you, what if you simplify to the point of really just doing one thing for a while? One thing that isn't just like, "Well, that's okay," but it's a full yes. We were talking about this, um, I know I annoyed somebody this morning because they unsubscribed, and that's fine. I started getting involved in these workshops, and I really like them with human design. May or may not be your thing, that's fine. I'm always gonna share with you things that have shifted my life. So, we were talking, in these Gavia workshops about is it like everybody's different as far as how they make decisions, and we sometimes can process and process and process. How do I know? Is it the right thing? And then you ask friends. There's that person who's asking everybody, and then there's the person who just knows and makes decisions. I think when they're big decisions, emotional decisions, it can be much trickier. And so we were really talking about. I was saying, I'm supposed to be making decisions through my emotions. Somebody told me, I'm like, what does that even mean? And I realized that, it's like love. If you've known love, if you know love, if you've been lucky enough, when you meet somebody, it's not a whole this, oh, he, she, they are all these different attributes. It's not about that. When I met my husband, I shook his hand for the first time. I was being introduced, and it was like zing. I hadn't even seen him in the room before at all. And I knew that was it. I'm like, whoa, this is the one. And he had the same feeling and said it right away. And there were no games. There was no nothing else. It was just it. So the point is, for me, it was a F yes, right? For some people, and that was how you make a decision. That's how I made the decision to keep moving forward. And some of you maybe might be clear when you have a hell no, right? You have a really big no, then that helps you to make your decision too. I want to encourage you. Maybe that's a whole discussion is how to make decisions. In fact, maybe we already did that, but we can go deeper into that. But that's one of the things that I really appreciated in these workshops because it's going deeper into what is authentic for you, what is real for you. And, I don't know, as a coach and maybe you as a person and me as a person, I've been to so many things, which is why I started promoting these a little bit because I don't know, it means something to me. And yeah, I'll put a link down below on that, but that's not why I'm on this video. My video this today is really about you you doing you. So pick one of those things that you're already doing maybe now. Maybe you can cluster some things if that makes sense and just make sure that what you're doing, and it doesn't have to be just one, maybe 3 feels right. It's up to you. But I bet that your plate is overfull with all the things you're supposed to be doing. Maybe they're pushing on your schedule during the day or week, month. Maybe some of these things are like, yeah, I don't really know if I think having a chocolate souffle is that big a deal because of the raw eggs and or sushi or whatever. And we've talked about that too. But I really just want you to see what's a yes for you and then just keep it simple. It's like in business. You can be on 10 social media platforms and sort of have a thin veil of connection, or you can be on one or a couple, whatever works for you, in a way that's strong and feels good. And like, I love doing video and thank you. Sorry. I try to really be aware of the fact that you may or may not have kids. And so she knows that. Anyway, I just want to say that um, she didn't know that I was off my call or on my call. Sweet pea, I'll be out in a minute, okay? I love you. That um, there are going to be times when you wonder if it's enough. And I just want to say that it is enough. What you're doing is enough. Just make sure it's yours. Simplify your fertility to make it yours. Make your fertility struggle lift away by just simply knowing that you're making the right choice for you. That's the most important thing today. If you have any questions, I'm going to leave some space right now for you to do that. If this is interesting for you, please click like so that the algorithm knows it's something that might be interesting for other people. If you're looking for other ways to simplify or you have any ideas, you're welcome to look down. You're all leaving. And it's okay. You can go down and there's free things down below. You can grab my free 7 steps to pregnancy. There's pregnancy after loss, and yeah, there's so much more. Would you like to ask a question while you're here? Because you can ask me anything at all. Um, I will say while I'm here that this work is very meaningful for me because I feel that If you're finding me, there's a reason that maybe we have something similar in our souls around just the journey, the bumps, the waves, the realities, and that you are ready to support another being or beings to come on this planet, uh, and that means something to me. You know, some people pick up garbage and help the environment. I want to help you bring somebody into this world. All right, I'm going to sign off since there's no questions. You're welcome to put something in the comments. If this feels like to you, you can put that in the comments. If there's something there, then great. I wish you well on this beautifully imperfect journey, and I will see you next Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific. And until then, you're welcome to ask me any questions at ariel@imperfectparenting.net. I wish you well. Have a beautiful day.